it's almost over. They ain't gonna let it pull me up.
Hello and a very good afternoon to all our viewers. You're locked on Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, and this is the Dialogue Rugby League 2018-2019, the clash that we've all been waiting for here at Havelock Park as the Giants battle it out in this picturesque stadium here. Kandy Sports Club, the league leaders and the second running team, Havelock Sports Club, battling it out for a very important clash in this Dialogue Rugby League 2018. What a league it has been so far. It has been a league that has had everything, and it has been a league that has given the true excitement of rugby action to the fans as well. So it has been a very, very tight 14 weeks of action, and that's exactly what we have. And the penultimate week of this match, week 14, is here as Kandy Sports Club travel all the way to Havelock Sports Club to face Havelock Sports Club. Havelock Sports Club have been the revelation in this Dialogue Rugby League, coming from nothing in these early few games. I think the Havelock Sports Club side has made a mark for themselves and made sure that their name stands as a heavyweight in this competition. So that's exactly what Havelock Sports Club have done, and I think they deserve all credit for all what they've done. I think it's a very interesting team, a very experienced team, but they'll be facing the Giants Kandy Sports Club, who have been winning this league in and out. I think winning the leagues have been the practice and the story for Kandy Sports Club. Even last year, Gayan Veeratne winning this time, and now Richard Dharmapala has a huge challenge ahead of themselves. This year there has been different leagues. So before that, to talk you through that, I have with me Sabir Kader. Sabir, different conditions from what we spoke last week. How does it feel for the two teams this week round?
Absolutely, it's a fitting finale. If we don't have those 2 extra weeks in Shav, this is absolutely mouth-watering clash, because the point is just 1 point Kandy leading, and they went through so many hard times, especially those star players got injured week in, week out, and also good to see it's not really easy for players to come back after 1 week or 2 weeks off. Shan Pathiran is back today, so good signs for Kandy. On the other hand, Havelocks, we know that it's lessons learned for them. It's not a 60 minutes game. So as Kandy, it's a 80 minutes game. It's simple as basic as it should be. So both teams were scoring well in that first half, even with a bonus points try, but they have to do their homework and come into that last end, because it's going down to the wire. This game is all about the winning.
There you go. I think there has been a change in the timing as well. I think the intensity of this game gives any indication. It's a very good indication to see what we can expect in the coming few 80 minutes. But before that, we'll take a quick look at how the conditions are today. I think partly cloudy is the prediction, but the temperature, Sabir, it is as 27 degrees, but it's going to be way more hotter than that. I think last week it was very obvious that the CLC and Havelock game and the Kandy CR game was played under very humid conditions, and then this is going to be the same this time around.
I'm sure the weather condition might slightly help home team, the men in pink Havelocks, because Kandy felt really difficult in that last, and maybe their fitness issues, but we have seen that it will come to that specific game plan or game sense that we that they opt to play through that first quarter, especially to keep the momentum. We saw that Chamar Dabre didn't have his game on the last match against CHNFC. He made few error of judgment, but they have to do that homework and come to especially beat the champion. You have to play like the champion.
To beat a champion, you need to play like a champion. That's what Sabir Kader is saying. So there you go. That is the early indications of this crucial clash. Havelock Sports Club taking on Kandy Sports Club here at Havelock Park. We'll go for a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we have lots to talk about in this upcoming fixture. You're with ThePapare.com. This is the Dialogue Rugby League.
It ain't easy, but it's almost over. This heart was made to wander, but I will come.
Mini Malimo, cheesy treats, we want more.
Crescent Mini Keeves. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeves, only from Crescent.
Crunchy munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites only from Crescent.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Get with the global Pulsar mania now and upgrade to the new and improved Pulsar 200 NS from David Peary's Motor Company Private Limited.
අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදී කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey Barry, මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi Plus පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi Plus විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමෙයි. එක බිලයි, කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.
Welcome back to Live Action. You're with Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, ThePapare.com. Live pictures coming to you also on Dialogue TV Channel 1 and on my TV. Sabir, ThePapare.com also celebrates 10 years. I think from these 10 years, I think the last 4 years, I think the league has been between Kandy Sports Club and Havelock Sports Club. I think that's a very huge competition between these two rivals.
Of course, such a good anticlimax that is CHNFC and underdogs like Army Sports Club all turning up. So this season probably one of the best season for all the spectators and the schoolboys to witness that despite the fact you've been the champion, you still have that faith you can be the champion at any given time in Chaf. So it's going to be a really great lesson for future, and also the school season is going to start, so all the young learners can learn something from this Dialogue Rugby League without a doubt.
There you go, Havelock Sports Club played 13, won 11 of those games and lost those two important games. I think the one in Kandy, we'll come back to that. That was the game in Nithawala, but then last week's clash, very disappointing from Havelock. I think they wouldn't have expected that game to end in that way. But Kandy Sports Club, I think making a comeback. I think they almost lost that game to CRNFC, but Kandy very lucky to get away from that problem last week at London Place.
Yeah, they will not forget that experience certainly in Shaf, because it's not a game like we said, it's an 80 minutes game. You're scoring your bonus point right in the first half and you're only scoring 3 points. That happened not only against Kandy and also against Army and also against CHNFC if I'm not mistaken. So these are the little things you need to gear up. But talking about that Kandy's attacking phase, we saw Nigel Rathwat all this time. He was just as a first reader sending out the ball out wide, and in Sia games 2 quick tries came because he was hitting into that 10 and 12 channel. As a result, 2 offloads coming in. Wilwara running into wide channel and Vishwamitra Jayasinghe running into another channel. As a result, they gain momentum. So those are the things that Havelocks need to lock that gates.
So there you go. That's the look at the points table so far. Kandy Sports Club comfortably on top. We can take a look at the cup and plate competition that's going to happen after this 14-week Dialogue Rugby League. But what's exciting is Sabir, Havelock Sports Club playing with their basic players. I think their senior man, they've had a lot of transfers out from Havelock Sports Club, have done really well to finish at number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. They were #1 a week ago. The thing is their consistency was brilliant, but a bit of lackluster performance which creates some decision making, some naivety in individual decision making which cost them the game in Shaf. But having said that, they are used to these conditions, and yes, they are lacking Dushmanta Priyadarshana. Their star player is missing, so as Dinuk Amarasinghe, but I'm sure Coach Martis knows what to do. They can take some grants this week as a granted because there's 2 more weeks to come, but no, they want to go if thinking this as a league final. It's a fitting finale for both the teams, so Havelocks little advantage playing with that, but their combination, some of the debut players are making those starts. That's going to be a crucial factor for them to hang on to this position.
We'll come back to those combinations soon. But taking a look at the points table, I think CSNFC also making a very, very strong comeback to make into that number 3 podium finish. And that's very exceptional from a team like CSNFC. They were coming to the league in a very disappointed scale. They lost a few very important games, but at the end of the day, they've stood up, and I think they've delivered as well. So that's another team to look forward to. But taking a look at this year's top try and point scorers table as well, I think Kandy Sports Club are clearly on top. I think Tilna Vijay Singh and Danushka Ranjan also are a very important cog in that Kandy attack.
Of course, Danushka Ranjan, he's not a stranger for this Havelock Park. He has played lots of games in this ground, former club of course, and also Samuel Madhwanta on your screens, the top point scorer between Ranjan and Tilna Vijay Singh. They are really in form, but Ranjan didn't play for his potential in the last week because he was not 100%. He was playing in the wing position in Shaft, so today he's been used to partner his captain Richard Dharmapal. So that's going to be interesting. 12-13 combination and the young combination in the Havelock Sports Club taking on the big men.
Dinu Kamar Singh, very sad to miss out on this encounter. I think he's injured with his shoulder. But I think take a look at how Dinu Kamar Singh has played in this season. I think he has put his hand up as that first inside centre position. Dinu Kamar Singh from former San Antonian player. I think that's exactly what is expected from a youngster. You come in there and you deliver just as it is.
Outstanding, absolutely sensational class. Let's have a look at these highlights. You can see, and his offload and his ball carrying ability, that was Bunaka Udangama. Unfortunately, Kandy will miss him perhaps for the rest of the season. And as you can see, they are so confident in the driving maul, so as Havelocks. So it's going to be interesting tactics how they manage the first quarter in Shaf. Are we going to see a electrifying first quarter, or we are going to see a stop start? That's what it's all about. And you can see Wilwer also coming from that injury. It's not easy for a player to recover so quickly. We saw him battling against one-on-one. It's so difficult to stop with his upper body strength, but even the last game and the previous game we saw that our local players going into him one-on-one, taking that challenge. So Wilwer also feeling that difficulties. He's certainly not with his 100% form, but talking about Chamar Dabare and Wilwer, it's going to be another clash. But this man, a talisman in terms of decision-making, former captain, of course, Roshan Veeraratna, he's going to be the main man for Kandy Sports Club.
But take a look at how things have spanned out in this Kandy encounter as well, Sabir. Kandy Sports Club leading and very much in front in that first half of play, 21.7. That's how the halftime score read. But then Havelock Sports Club fought back. And I think if they had more time in themselves, I think who knows how things would have gone.
Yeah, it seems like pretty much the story, because every team, once they're in a comfortable lead, 2 goals or more, they are like losing it up. They're relaxing, which is not acceptable. They have already paid the price. Some of the team, we witnessed that, of course. So it's the nature of this rugby league, how it's going, and but it's going to be a different story today, so we'll have to wait and see for that 80 minutes.
So new combinations, Sabir, in that front line for Havelock Sports Club. Experienced man, Dushmant Pradashana, very unfortunate. I was talking to Dushmant Pradashana as well early on before the game. He was very, very disappointed to not make a start in this game. He was telling if I could walk, I would have made that team, because that shows how important he feels in that team. But Chamar Dabare will be expected to play a very leadership role in this Havelock attack, especially in the absence of their key players. Dinu Kamar Singh is not there. You remember that cross kick what Riza Mubarak kicked to Dabare as he scored that try, but a lot will be expected from this experienced winger Chamar Dabare.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Yeah, you're talking about Dushmant Pradashana. Certainly anyone's man to put him for the national shirt, tight head number 3 to start, because he was outstanding this season. So much mobility in terms of his ball carrying ability and pace, and also he was so much veteran and made some huge effort for Havelock Sports Club in terms of their defensive work, and he certainly led that forward pack. Certainly he's going to be a big miss, but good to see that experience like Sharo Fernando, and also combining with a youngster Matisa Sarachandra in those combination will be a bit handy for Havelocks.
You mean Randy Silva and Prince Chamara have a huge role to play. They'll be playing against Richard Dharmapala and Lavanga Pereira, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, Danush Ranjan is also there, so big responsibility, and Dabare should be the player who Havelock Sports Club will be going. Interestingly, Vimukti Rahula is set to start in this game, Sabi, but I like the way how coach Sanath Martis uses Mithun Hapugoda. Hapugoda comes in as a second half inclusion for the side. But meanwhile, let's take a look at Thilna Vijayasinghe. He'll be expected to play a very huge role if Kandy wants to win. I think winning games has been nothing unusual for Thilna Vijayasinghe. We remember that Navy game Sabir narrowed down to Thilna Vijayasinghe as a 3-pointer, and then last week when they went to Kandy, he scored 36 points in one match.
Yeah, that is some outstanding performance. Individually brilliance. We know that he's not giving anyone to take that number 15 shirt because he was waiting so patiently from Nigel Rathore to get that number 15 shirt. Thanks to Fazil Marija for his wonderful farewell retirement with a super hat-trick from Nittawala, his own ground. And there you go. You got the chance. You are nailed it. So it's a headache time for coaches, you know, Inshaf. So you don't know what to put and what to put. You know, Jamaluddin also staying in that squad for a long time now. He didn't yet make a mark, and cleverly the young man from St. Joseph's and former Kingswood, Chatura Seniratna, who made that decision, bold decision to go into Navy Sports Club. Although he's playing out of form in that wing position, he just made a mark. He's getting some game time. As a youngster, that's what you need to get some game time.
Exactly. So Kandy Sports Club will be missing their very key man, Buna Kudangamu, but Shehan Pathirana, I think Shehan Pathirana's existence in that 80 minutes is going to be very, very crucial if Kandy Sports Club will need to win this one. I think the moment Shehan Pathirana went off that attack in the second half, I think that's when everything broke apart. I think that's when exactly CR took that opportunity to capitalize.
Absolutely. Young Shabir, former Anthonian, coming into that lackluster position, playing with the senior men's. It was really tough to hang on for that number 8 shirt. But also we didn't mention about Heshan Kalhara and his workload. He has carried lots of meters with his big run, big impact coming in. But talking about Ganuka Disanaga, again playing in his against former club, it's very... I mean, he's used to this condition very well, so it's an interesting combination again in that front row for Kandy. Sean Vijayasinghe have let his all the performers to get that chance, and Akila also in that bench as a result. So it's going to be a really tactical changes coming in the second half.
So expect a lot of forward action. Havelock Sports Club, our team that is used to playing that forward game, and Kandy Sports Club, being the defending champions, should be delivering the same. So Sabir, going back and asking, if I ask you, who will it be at the end of the day? Who's going to end up victorious in his 80 minutes?
Last week, Inshaf, my prediction went astray, but it's any team can win at any given time. Kandy coming with a big courage, and they really want to nail it because it's a grudge battle at the end of the day. Havelocks don't have their luxury names, no Dinu Kamarasinghe, no Sudarshan Mututantri, but still they have a slight chance playing in home conditions. So
there you go, Sabir Kader saying that Havelock Sports Club have a slight chance. So that's it from the sidelines, and we'll take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I will have Shana Kamarasinghe alongside Sudarshan Piris with the team cards.
එක දවසක්
අද නම් කතා කරනවා මම.
හායි. සමහර නෙට්වර්ක් අන්ලිමිටඩ් කිව්වට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් ඇන්ලිමිටඩ්ද? ලක්ෂ 130කට වැඩි ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ විශාලතම ඩයලොග් පවුලට ලිමිට් නැතුව කතා කරන්න. ඩයලොග් බ්ලාස්ටර් අන්ලිමිටඩ් රුපියල් 700 සිට දෛනික සති සහ මාසික ප්ලෑන්. ඇක්ටිවේට් කිරීමට #678# ඩයල් කරන්න.
ඔයත් මූවී එක බලන්න එනවද?
Are you or someone you care about prone to heart-related illnesses? You can now rest easy with Avid Heart. Avid Heart lets you get a medical-grade EKG anywhere, anytime. Save a life and give yourself or loved ones peace of mind. Approved by the National Medicines Regulatory Authority. Avid Heart. Heart health at your fingertips. Purchase your Avid Heart device today for just 23,990 rupees and get a free My Doctor Couples package. Available at selected Dialog customer care centers island-wide. Dialog. The future today.
Dialog Gaming Game Hero presents Space Rider Star Hunt. Now everyone can be a hero. Register now for the biggest mobile gaming tournament in Sri Lanka and win big cash prizes. 3 million in prize money up for grabs. Visit Google Play or the App Store, download the Space Rider Star Hunt game and subscribe to enter the tournament. Dialog Gaming, the #1 gaming experience with Sri Lanka's fastest network.
A very good evening and welcome to the Havelock's grounds as we prepare for this top of the table clash in the humid hot afternoon here on Saturday. It's going to be an absolute picturesque game, as picturesque as these visuals that are coming to you from the Havelock grounds, already packed on the pavilion side, and we're expecting a lot more people to pour in through the gates for what is a blockbuster encounter between Kandy and Havelocks today. This is for number 1 position in the league before the super round comes in. So we haven't decided the league this weekend. It would have been the league deciding weekend, but it's not, because we have another super round coming up, and these two teams will be playing each other one more time this season as well. So we have the league to be decided on that. But at the moment, this game is the biggest game of the league so far. It is to decide the number 1 position. Joining me in the commentary box, Sudarshan Apiris. It's been a long time, but we'll say hello to you as soon as we discuss the teams. Abdullah Faiz starts at prop. Azmir Fajruddin and Liston Flatney with Dushmantha Priyadarshana is the big omission in that front row. Shara Fernando returns into the second row along with Udesh Madhushankar, the hard-working engine room unit, and Senal Dilaka alongside Situm Piris and Lasindu Karuna Dilaka, who will have to work doubly hard today to keep this Kandy pack at bay. Vumukti Rahula is reinstated to the starting lineup alongside his skipper Niroshan Fernando, and in the absence of Dinuk Amarasinghe, we have Thikshana Dasanayaka, who takes his place in the centres alongside Randy Silva, who didn't perform too badly last week in his debut game. We had Chamara Dabare, who also scored a try last week. He'll be looking for another one today. The excellent Riza Mubarak takes his place at fullback alongside another experienced man in Sandun Herat on the wing.
And here it is, the Kandy Sports Club lineup, unchanged first row. Jakob Ali, which is Jayasuri and Ganaka Disanayaka making up the Kandy front 3, and Soyuri Anthony and Heshan Kalhara picked ahead of Dimitri Vijayatunga will man up in the second row. The third row for Kandy, who's been playing well, Tarindu Chaturanga, Shahan Patarina and Jason Disanayaka. The big miss here is the big bulldozing Mudangamo, who's missing out the entire season. Rushan Veeratna and Nigel Ratwate will make up the half combination. Veeratna had a terrific game last week. He will want to replicate that here. Lavanga Pereira pairs up with Richard Dharmapala in the centres, and in the back we have Vilvara partnering up with Danushka Ranjan and Tilna Vijay Singh. Danushka Ranjan playing out of his position, but let's take a look at the substitutions.
Let's look at the substitution cards. Rahal Delpachitra and Sayan Sabha and Chanaka Bandara. Shaukat Lahir will come onto the field definitely early on in that game. Asita Gayan, Sandesh Javikrama, the backup halfback, and Mithun Hapagoda, expect him from the bench to do some damage alongside Dilanka Pereira. And for Kandy, Lasita Attanagoda, Damita Disanayak, Ashan Darling, Shabir Mohammed, Sashika Jayawardena, Heshan Jansen, Chamika Pereira and Oshan Pereira. So not a bunch of known names in that Kandy bench. So they will be expecting their starting 15 to do a carry a lot of the water here today as they take on this championship contending Havelocks team. But two big misses, as you were saying, Sudarshana. For Havelocks it will be Dushmantha Priyadarshana at the front, but for Kandy they'll be really relieved to see that Shehan Patirana has made it back from that ankle injury that he picked up last week. But Bhuvaneka Udangamo out and Danushka Ranjan also playing out of position. So those are few positional shifts that are going to be difficult for both teams to manage.
Absolutely, Shanaka. Bhuvaneka Udangamo has been that standout player for Kandy in the pack, and missing him out for the entire season is something that Kandy has to manage very well. But again, with Havelock Sports Club, they will really be missing Dushmantha Priyadarshana and also Dinuk Amarasinghe going out, not playing at the centres. That will be a worry for Havelock Sports Club. But looking at the positives, it's not every day that you see a team better Kandy's replacement. You looking at that card, Shanaka, Havelocks definitely look like the better set of bench players when you look against the Kandy Sports Club.
They certainly do, and if they start the way they did against CHNFC last week, I think Kandy will have to come out of the blocks firing the way they did against CRNFC. So both teams are desperate for a very good start. Both teams started well against their opposition last week. So that's going to be something that's going to be weighing on the minds of these players as well, because it's a hot day and they're going to have to defend pretty strongly as well in both these environments. I think Kandy's forwards are going to be tested, so they've gone for the bulk of Heshan Kalhara. But again, that front five is going to have to do a lot of work, Sudarshana, because they don't have a lot of depth to come back onto the field. Damit Disanayaka, not the player he was last year, not the player he was 2 years before. So I think they really need to rely on the starting front five to do a lot of damage, which puts Havelock SC in a bit of a bind, because are they going to spread it wide or are they going to keep it with their strength?
Absolutely good problem to have though for Havelock Sports Club, because they have the ability in both the departments. Yes, they have a very young line with a few veterans at the back in the likes of Mubarak and Niroshan Fernando. But Kandy Sports Club, on the other hand, they have their troubles in the forwards. They need to make sure that the forwards are consistently supporting their line breakers. We saw that against CRNFC. Come the second half, there was not much support running close to those players who were breaking that line, which is why CR managed to capitalize in that second half. We saw the same thing happening against Police Sports Club as well the last time Kandy travelled. Here's the Minister of Sport, Harin Fernando, an avid rugby fan, making his way to congratulate the both teams. He also is a trustee of Kandy Sports Club, and but I'm sure he'll be looking forward to a cracker of an encounter today here at Havelock Park.
I'm sure he will be, as will all our viewers joining us live on thepapare.com, a website that as we're bringing you the best of Sri Lankan sporting action for the last 10 years and going to continue very strongly into the future as well. Minister Harin Fernando brings up the formal greetings for this Havelock's team, the host team today, and they are, despite the fact that they were pretty much decimated in the off-season, they lost a bunch of their players, but they've come back and they've managed to really make a difference in this Dialogue Rugby League by contending for the title right down to the final game of the season. Kandy started off brilliantly but have fallen away. Their fitness issues have caught up with them, and we're really going to see a real ask from the guy likes of Thilina Vijayasinghe to step up today and make a difference.
Coming back to what you said about Havelocks being decimated pre-season, Shanaka, look at the players that they lost out. Sudham Suryarachi, Hiranta Pereira, Nishan Pereira, key players in key positions, but what they managed to do was they managed to get those young players to come up and make sure that they capitalize. We have a foreign match referee today, Tatsu Kawara, who will be assisted by Rohan Fernando and Ajit Kumar. Last week we had a New Zealand referee, and this week we have a Japanese referee, but we'll go for a quick commercial and come back for the kickoff.
This match is brought to you by EFL, proud sponsor of the Sri Lanka Rugby Referees and Havelock Sports Club.
All set for the kickoff. Kandy will be kicking up from left to the right of your screens.
So Nigel Ratwatha, saw him doing a little bit more work in the warm-ups than he was doing last week. I think he was playing pretty much on one leg, so Nigel will be expected to do a lot of work today to steady the ship. The ball bounces, not the best start for Havelocks. Lasindu Vishan didn't look like he wanted much to do with that. But they'll want a good exit strategy here to start well, Havelocks, and not let Kandy get on the front foot like they did. They burst out of the blocks against CR last week, and they'll be wanting to pin them back in their half to make these forwards really work for whatever ground they gain. So that ball is deposited in the stands. And Vimukti Rahul is starting ahead of Mithun Hapugoda at number 9. What do you make of that decision, Sudarshana?
I think what Coach Mart is what he's looking at is stability at the start, and then bringing on Mithun Hapugoda in the dying stages of the game. Mithun can really change the game around. That's what he's looking at here. And to be fair by Vimukti Rahul, he has been very good as well throughout the season, putting in some very consistent performances.
There it is again, Shehan Pathirana, such an important part of that Kandy line out. Kandy spilling the ball on the inside pass from Ratwatha, and again it's spilled, and Heshan Kalhara comes away with it, but referee Kavahara will call them back. And the inside ball almost producing a line break, but you've got to catch the ball first. But again, you can see how important that Shehan Pathirana presence is at the back of the scrum and the middle of the line out, Sudarshana.
Oh, absolutely. He's also one of those players who actually lead that Kandy pack. Pathirana, former Royal skipper, captained Royal in 2011. He's one of those players who really stands tall in the line out, and he knows how to control the pack as well. Not much of a difference between the two packs. The front rows, Kandy with a 6 kilogram advantage. nothing to separate the two teams there.
No, not a lot at all. Just 10 kgs in it in favor of Kandy Sports Club. And a lot of that comes in the form of Heshan Kalhara, I would think. But that back row matchup, that's what I'm really interested in today. Two really hard-working back row matchups. And looking for Lasindu Ishan to maybe graduate into the pantheons of the very good number 8s. And that's the first one. Scrum penalty for referee Kawahara, and Havelock's really putting the pressure on there. The scrum was such an important part of their game against CH last week. They got pinged a few times, but Abdullah Faiz, that'll do a lot for his confidence. The young lad starting in just his first game.
Well, this is exactly what Havelock's wanted. They want their forwards to really come to the party, and when you can win your first scrum with a penalty, that adds a lot to your confidence, Shanak, and we will be able to see the Havies forwards take note from here. Take a look at that.
That's Ashan, that's Darling, actually just standing up in the front row because he couldn't take the heat coming from Faiz, and that's a very dangerous play, which is why the referee is very quick to blow that one up. At the back of this line out, it's won by Situm Piris. Lahir cleans it up. Here's some space now. Sadun Hera taking on the midfield of Kandy. Yeah, nice little break, half break through Sena Aldilaka. Vimukti Rahul, a nice flat pass to Azmir Fajuddin. Roshan Fernando looking to spread it wide. Here's Karuna Tilaka. It's available for Dabare now. And once again, referee says that there's a player on the floor and he wants to check for a head injury, so he'll probably come back for a scrum. But let's try and see where that happened, that injury. Hope it's nothing too serious. It isn't, so Iru Anthony seems like he's getting up.
This referee will come back for a scrum, and Anthony is right in the middle of play.
Well, he had to stop that for safety's sake, and that's good to see that referees are taking player safety of paramount importance. I think that's far more important than any tries or anything that we're going to see. Here's Soiru Anthony going in for the tackle, and I think he collides with his own man, Heshan Kalhara. A bit of friendly fire there. And two heads. Kalhara coming off the better in that one. So watch for Karuna Tilaka off the back of the scrum. He'll test the defense of Pathirana on that open side. Uchita Jayasuriya it is. Bounces off the first one, runs straight into Nigel Ratpatha and still going. Does well to place the ball back for Rahula. It's fast ball. And now there's some numbers for Kandy on the outside. Here's Mubarak straightening. Umesh Madhushan, lovely ship off the ball. Likes open inside pass rather from Umesh Madhushan. Abdullah Faiz. Good fast ruck ball again for Niroshan Fernando. Fernando puts it under and goes straight into the tackle. Another good quick ball, and Umesh Madhushan drops the ball and undoes a bit of hard work there from his team.
Very unfortunate for Havelock Sports Club. They were building up a real steam there. There you go, Madhushan taking his eyes off the ball. Thinking about the pass that he was going to make. Very unfortunate. Havelock's looking very threatening. One thing about this Havelock's team is that, Shanaka, they can hold on to position. They are patient when it comes to faces. That's the key to beat Kandy. If they can keep on building those faces, Kandy will open up and their defense will be tested.
Certainly will. In Umesh Madhushan's defense, I don't think the pass from Rahula was the best one he's ever thrown. Roshan Veeraratna now. A little bit of back chat from the Havelock's team. But he now brings Ranjan off the blind side wing to try and hit it up. And here's some space now for Anuruddha Villavara. Bringing him down, but Randy Silva clearly went high. But Villavara still going. Another high hit. Didn't make contact, but that doesn't make a difference. And again, referee Kawahara still playing advantage. They've made 50 meters, have Kandy. Showing their desire to run from their own 5-meter line. Here's a space again. Nigel Ratwatta gives it to the big prop forward, spinning out. That's Yaqub Ali, it was. Roshan Veeraratne. Here's numbers for Kandy. Heshan Kalhara thumps it up through the middle. Umesh Madhushan meets him. It's available for Veeraratne now.
It's good, play on.
Good counter up there by Sharo Fernando that time. And that's really good defensive work from Fernando. Ganuka Disanayaka had to go in from the side to try and protect the ball. Excellent stuff.
Brilliant work from Sharo Fernando there. Really supported his body weight in that tackle and then went in to spoil the ball and put pressure on Kandy. Kandy guilty of not committing enough numbers to that rock, and Ganuka Disanayaka attack him from the side. Interestingly, Shanaka, the two prop forwards for Kandy Sports Club, both played for Havelocks previously. Ganuka Disanayaka and Ashan Darling will be hearing quite a bit inside those scrums.
Certainly will. They didn't spare Prasad Madhushankar last week as we look at that high hit from Randy Silva on Anuruddha Villavara, who gets up and goes. He's not one to be curtailed by a clothesline. He's Anuruddha Villavara, desperate to make his mark after being injured for a long time this season. Ball won nicely by Sharo Fernando in the front. Such an important part of whatever team he plays for, Fernando.
It's good. It's good.
If he can keep his discipline on track, he really is one of the most important players on the park. But referee says the maul was taken down. So early doors dominance for this Kandy, for this Havelocks pack.
Great work by Sharo Fernando, and in Sharo's defense, he has been very decent this season. I believe Shanak only picked up 2 yellow cards, both of them for technical fouls around the rocks, and that comes with, I beg your pardon, there only 1 yellow card, and that comes with the job of being
on the line.
Being a lock. You get involved in a lot of rocks, and Havelock Sports Club slowly but surely building their confidence up. Now inside the 22 meters, if they can score from here, they will really put a mark on this game.
Chamara Dabare has come onto the inside shoulder. You can just see him on the right side of your screen there of Niroshan Fernando. Maybe looking to use him as an inside runner. Vimukti Rahula waits patiently. Asmir Fajuddin. Here's Karuna Tilaka now. Not sure why Fajuddin made the pass instead of Rahula there. But Kandy have lost about 5 meters here. But they still have the ball. That's what they'll be concentrating on. Great counter ruck again that time by Kandy. Outstanding work. That was Soiru Anthony. But Vimukti Rahula looks for the space. That's a lovely little kick. It's bouncing all over. And Thilina Vijayasinghe has to touch it down. Doesn't matter because he'll get the ball back.
Great thinking. Absolutely brilliant thinking by Vimukti Rahula. Spotted the space at the back. Noted that it was only Vijayasinghe. And just so lucky for Vijayasinghe, the ball bounced the other way. If it had bounced forward, they would have been in trouble.
As the long kick out from Nigel Ratwatta. And making no mistake this time. Chamara Dabare missed touch last week, so he makes sure that he gives it to a more accomplished kicker. But that time also not finding touch, and Thilina Vijayasinghe rakes that ball down just outside the Havelocks 22. So playing for territory, Kandy, not trying any heroics. They know that this is going to be an 80-minute game.
Oh, absolutely. Both teams, earlier on in the game, both teams were not shy to run from their own 22, but now slowly they are bringing in that territorial game. Thilina Vijayasinghe at that time with a flat, nicely placed kick to find touch.
Beautifully weighted kick. He's been a revelation at fullback this season. Really has been his breakout season for both the Dharmaraja boys, Buane Kudankamu as well as Thilina Vijayasinghe. Roshan Fernando thumps this one high and long, and Vijayasinghe is under it, supported by his back three who are giving him options. But again, he sees the space and lets the ball do the work. Riza Mubarak though, well positioned. will try and buy himself an angle and put this one into touch. And he does well to put it into the stand as well. So that little kick earlier from Rahula, they've spotted the space in behind Dhanushka Ranjan. If Rahula gets it just behind Ranjan instead of closer to Tiruna Vijayasinghe, Chamara Dabare is really in business.
Oh, absolutely, Shanakar. I think that was the idea, but the execution wasn't right up there. But Tiruna Vijayasinghe
You need to count.
showcasing what a really good fullback can do to you. A fullback with confidence can do to your team. He can straight away get you into the opposition territory merely with one of his kicks. Overthrown, but luckily falls on their side. Seems like Kandy did lose that forward. Yes, referee right on the mark.
Knock forward, he says, so a miss in the line out. And again, you look at Sharo Fernando and Situm Piris there, both of them making an effort to jump. Sudarshana, you played at hooker, and you know how much it is weighs on the mind of a boy throwing in, that you know that the opposition is going to jump and contest this ball.
Absolutely, Shanaka. And the last thing that you want is one of your throws to be intercepted by a player who's merely jumping and not being lifted. That plays in your mind as well. And I don't understand why these days a lot of hookers tend to go to number 6 at the start of the game. Yes, that's an option that you can go for, but make sure that you hit your number 2 and number 4 first. Make sure that you get that on point in the beginning of the game. As the game progresses with confidence, then you can use that number 6 pod.
Agree with you entirely, Sudarshana. That's a matter of experience. It's a matter of the line-out calls as well. Hookers saying that, look, I'm not confident enough. Let's go to 2. Let's win this ball and let's go from there. There's been a substitution by the looks of things. No, actually, that's Havelock's Theekshana Dasanayaka in your picture. Again, a former Peterite.
That's the second penalty. Havelock's win after Kandy.
Strong run by the.
Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome back to live pictures on ThePapare.com and Dialogue TV1. We apologize for the short break in transmission. There was an electrical glitch here. And we have news for you that Kandy have scored through Ganuka Disanayaka, the front row forward, dancing through the last couple of tackles and making it almost under the post from 7 meters out or so. Good work from Nigel Ratwatta and swung out to the other side of the field, and Disanayaka managed to saunter over for Tiruna Vijayasinghe to add the extra points. So Kandy are in the lead, 7 points to 0.
That was a fair challenge there.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Referee seeing nothing wrong with that. Kandy are making inroads into the 22. This is where Havelocks have to be careful not to allow Kandy to get too far ahead. The bounce of the rugby ball, and Nigel Ratwatta profits from it. Absolutely no way to predict where that was going to go after it bounced. And Nigel Ratwatta, despite being impeded, kept in the game and knew that the bounce of the rugby ball is a lottery at best. Picked it up and went over in the corner, and Kandy with a 1-2 punch.
Well, brilliant stuff from Ratwatte. He was impeached, like you said, blocked by the Havelock players, but he didn't stop there. He didn't want the penalty to come. He continued play, and a brilliant try coming. Take a look at this. This is where it all started. Wilbur and both Mubarak went up for the ball. That was all right. And from here on, Ratwatte spotted that there was nobody at the back for Havelock Sports Club. Put in the ball to boot. And I feel for Vimukti Rahula there. There was no way that he was going to predict where the ball was going to bounce. The best sort of medicine would have been to go for the ball and not let it bounce there, Shanaka.
Absolutely. I thought he should have dived on it as soon as he Saw it was going to hit the ground. One of those half volleys, as it were. But as soon as you let it bounce, you're in deep, deep trouble. And 12 points to nil with Tiruna Vijayasinghe, an uncharacteristic miss even from the touchline. A ground he's not very familiar with, so he will stay on his current points tally.
Referee opting to go for a 1 minute water break after 20 minutes being completed in this first half. And Shanaka, so far this game, Havelocks did have some very interesting phases built on Kandy's 22, but Kandy managing to go in and get points every time they breach into the 22. This is exactly what they did at CRNFC as well. They had a very electric first 20, but after the first water break is where Kandy slumped down, so they will be mindful of that.
That's what quality and experience does for you, doesn't it, Sudarshan? You look at this Havelocks team, it's a very talented team, but in terms of experience, Kandy has just got more of it. Guys who have played at international level. You watch the pass here to Ganuka Dissanayake, a wonderful pass from Nigel Ratpatha, nice and flat into the space, and Ganuka Dissanayake had very little to do to rumble over for that try. So Ratpatha, like I said before kickoff, Sudarshan, they'll be expecting a lot. They'll be expecting this man to step up. He was below par by his own high standards against Sia, but this weekend I think he's realized that he has to do a job. Ball goes to Pathirana, who's very safe at that restart. And somehow Havelocks managed to get it back, but that somehow is illegal. And again, an unnecessary concession of possession and territory. So this is where Umesh Madhushan and Sharo Fernando, who compete so well at breakdown, must ensure that they don't give Kandy cheap ball, especially after they've been hit twice.
The Sabis have been guilty of giving away too many penalties inside the rocks. Because the more penalties that you give Kandy, the more chances of them being able to play rugby in the opposition territory will increase their chances of scoring and putting Havis under pressure. They have to play catch up here, 12 points to nil. Uchita this time opting to go to number 2, and that time the lifters and the jumper has to get their act together.
Yes, that was a terrible mix up there. But once again, if we manage to see that line out one more time, again Sharo Fernando just putting his hands across that tunnel, making himself a bit of a nuisance, and Uchita Jayasuriya, Tanindu Chaturanga, not really one of the best line out jumpers in the business. So he's in unfamiliar territory himself. So this is where Havelocks need to put pressure. They conceded a cheap penalty, but now they've won it back. So that's why you've got to keep competing every time for the ball if you want to beat good sides.
Havelock Sports Club, they've dominated the scrum yet again. Ganuka Dissanayake is not able to take that pressure.
Again, they're looking for that space in behind. Dhanushka Ranjan, Randy Silva doesn't make the tackle. And now this is a dangerous time with Ranjan with a lot of room to run. Sandun Herath and Niroshan Fernando eventually bring him down and win themselves a penalty as well, with the first man there, Lavanga Pereira and Anuruddha Villavar, I think, going over, not staying on their feet. But that could have been dangerous times. And again, the execution, Sudarshana, they're looking for that space. This is what I thought Rahul De Silva missed for CRNFC last week. They missed the space behind Dhanushka Ranjan, who's not a natural winger, whose not nature it is not to drop back. But this is where the Havelocks have spotted that space, but they have Vimukti Rahula and Niroshan Fernando haven't been able to get the ball on her handkerchief behind it.
Oh, absolutely, Shanaka, because in the modern game, playing in that back three is purely not, being a wing is purely not your speed. You need to know when to be the sweeper, when to drop back. Kandy has had trouble because Dhanushka Ranjan is not a natural winger, but Havelocks making a mash out of their line out.
This man is a natural poacher, Pathirana, that much is for sure. And Lavanga Pereira now gives it to Tiruna Vijayasinghe, looks for the back of the hand offload and throws it in, maybe just a little bit too late. Lavanga Pereira now swiveling and keeping the ball for Kandy. Ratwat chooses to pass it this time. And again, looking for the willing runner. Here's numbers for Kandy on the outside, straight run from Villavara. Dragged down by Herat in an important tackle, but the referee says that was high. Ratwatha now takes it quickly, gives it to Yakub Ali. Roshan Veeraratne dancing around. Here's the ball coming through. Taridu Jayasuriya.
Taridu Chaturanga dancing down for Kandy Sports Club for their third try, and what a move starting off with Shehan Patirina. Tilna Vijay Singh tried that back on the hand offload. Shanak anticipated it, Danush Karanjan didn't, but Kandy were lucky enough to hold on to possession. And when Kandy starts playing from broken play, Shanaka, they are very, very dangerous. They can beat any team in the island in running from broken play, and we'll take a look at that replay, and I'm sure our production crew is having trouble picking out where exactly to go back to, because that move, I think, started at the right end of their own field.
And you saw the quality of their two best players, Sudarshana. I think the two best players in this Kandy lineup are Patirina and Ratwatha, because they've just got so much quality. Their basics are so good, and that started with a real injection of pace from Patirina. He picked up that loose ball and just threw Havelock's defensive line completely off, and then the ability to move that ball from Ratwatha to spot the space, not to hold on to it. Here it is. That's the first time he moved it. Then they kept the ball alive, did Kandy, and look at him coming around again. And there you go, Taridu Chaturanga just coming in over the angle. So the decision making from these quality players is the difference between Havelocks and Kandy at this present moment.
Have is now desperate for points. They're down 3 tries, 19 points to 3 is the score.
Well, they will look back and they will think of last weekend's game, where CRNFC found themselves 28 points to 3 down inside 15 minutes. And Havelocks will know that this is a game where Kandy will fall away as the game carries on. Their fitness levels couldn't physically have improved so much in the last 1 week. So they will know that if they hang in here, they will have a fight. Nice win by Situm Piris at the back of the line out. Here's a nice flat ball for Lashindu Vishan in centre field.
Hands away, hands.
Vimukti Rahula borrows for that ball. Kandy slowing it down successfully. This time it's Sharo Fernando, but the ball is ripped off him again. Excellent work that time. Again by Ratwatha. And what good defense that was. Big man on not so big man. And Ratwatha came off trumps.
Brilliant stuff from Nigel Ratwatha. I think he's been one of those understated players of this season for Kandy Sports Club, Shanaka. He's filling the big boots of Fasil Marija. Yes, a lot of people say Ratwatha hasn't done much exciting, but he hasn't done a lot wrong as well. And to fill Fasil Marija's boots, you got to be an exceptionally talented player.
To compare Fazil Marija and Nigel Ratwatha is like comparing Bowden Barrett to Aaron Cruden, Sudarshana, because they're both two completely different players. And one brings the stability, one brings the nous, one brings the ability to control a game. The other one brings just devastating pace and acceleration off the mark and just pure skill. So I don't think one is better than the other. I think Nigel does his job and he does it brilliantly. But when he needs to, he can really turn the afterburners on, which is what we saw. And I would say he's very close to contributing to about 60 or 70% of those 19 points that Kandy have on the board so far.
Plenty more to come if Kandy needs to take a comfortable lead in that points table. Remember, being at the top end of the second round is very important for you going into the super round, as Nigel puts the ball up.
Well, again, they've spotted that it's made a bit of a difference. His high ball, that time Chamara Dabare juggles but manages to control the ball. Well done from him. Rahula to Madhushan, who is quickly wrapped up by Soiru Anthony, his opposite number. Here's Sharo Fernando. Close quarters movement of the ball from Havelocks. Vimukti Rahula to Fajuddin. Fajuddin spinning out of one tackle but brought down, and Rahula. Now Randy Silva. Sandesh Jayavikram is on the park. We'll tell you who we replaced in just a moment. Here's Sharo Fernando again. Fajruddin almost gets free, but Heshan Kalhara, who's done a lot of tackling in this first half, hangs on to a bootlace. Nice ball from Lasandhu Ishan, and here's Sandun Herat with a chance. Cuts back inside sensibly. Rahula. Sandesh Jayavikram with a nice flat ball, but it's just in front of Azmir Fajruddin. Sharo Fernando. Jayavikrama again, stepping inside that time was Tikshana Dasanayaka. A lot of possession from Havelocks, but they need to make this count. Again, coming straight through was Ganuka Disanayaka. I think he'd had enough of phases. Was like, I need a break, and just flopped over like a like a diver into a swimming pool.
Ganuka Disanayaka that time had all the right to the ball because he came through the gate, but he lost control of his body weight. And update coming to you from CHN Army Sports Club, currently in the lead, 17 points to 7. So CH are yet to win against Army this season. Shanaka, will it remain the same? We will have to wait and see. They've had an unbelievable comeback in the second round, 8 games unbeaten. Will they be able to continue the momentum into the super round? We will have to wait and see.
Time off.
Will be a very interesting finish to that game. Remember that CH didn't have Adam Gowda the first time these two teams met, and he's been immense for CHNFC since he's taken the field. So that game is not over by a long shot. Neither is this one, as Uchita Jayasuriya takes a little bit of a breather. This is where Havelocks have to insist that the referee paces the game up. Kandy, you can see them out on their feet there.
But Havelock Sports Club are known to slow the games as well, because their forwards would like to take control of the ball. And earlier as well, Chanaka, you spoke about ThePapare.com celebrating its 10th year anniversary this year, 10 years of sharing the passion. You've been a big part of ThePapare.com, especially when it comes to contributing in rugby. And tell us how the journey has been so far.
Tell you, just after this line out, Sudarshana Situm Piris wins it beautifully at the back. Now this is a great attacking platform for Havelocks. Just before half-time, if they can get a point on the board, they may go into half-time with a bit of a momentum shift. First time they've come into Kandy's 22 for a long time. But again, truck and trailer, says the referee. It wasn't the same maul. And this is where discipline comes into play. This is where technique comes into play. And this is where referee Kawahara's experience and expertise also comes into play. A lot of stuff that the players can get away with local referees in these technical areas of the game, like the scrum and the maul, they can't get away with foreign referees.
Havelocks will be very, very disappointed. It's been one of their weapons, the rolling maul. And they were on the front foot. Referee Kawahara explaining it to Azmir Fajruddin. This is exactly what happened, mate. There you go. Right on the spot, Chanaka.
Yes, really no arguments there, no controversies as well. And that's been good to see, especially last weekend where we had Lawrence Wilkinson blow 2 games, 2 high-scoring close games, but absolutely no controversies. And we are talking about the rugby rather than the officiating, and that really is a huge step up for this Dialogue Rugby League. Speaking about ThePapare.com, Sudarshan, it's been an absolute pleasure to be part of this journey for as long as I have, and I just can't wait to continue and see where we have to go. I think last time's Rugby World Cup 2015 coverage was probably one of the highlights for me personally, and hopefully this one will be a build-up on that. Roshan Veeraratne manages to get his kick away somehow, and Reza Mubarak puts his one up as well. Fajruddin needs to get out of there. Beautifully taken by Mubarak, and equally beautifully dumped by his national team compatriot Roshan Veeraratne. Here's Madhushan. Not a great ball to Abdullah Faiz. And Faiz with the knock-on. And Veeraratne again gives it to Tirina Vijayasinghe. Chamara Dabare competing with his own man. Soiru Anthony again doing real good work to get to the winger. but Kandy have it, or Havelocks have it rather. Beautiful hit that time. Richard Dharmapala appearing out of nowhere, the skipper. He's been pretty anonymous this season because he's been playing in an unfamiliar position, but that was a hugely important hit. Situm Piris spinning around, trying to get away from Kandy's defense. I think Havelocks really do need to go to the boot a little bit more. Here's a little bit of space for Lasindu Vishan. He's been dangerous every time he's touched the ball. Not held, so he can get up and go. And here it is through Fajuddin. Again, stepping back on the inside. Havelocks.
Not enough.
A lot of the ball with nothing to show for it. Havis. Tikshana Dasanayaka, not a great pass to Sandun Herath. Herath puts it to the boot. Not sure that was a great option. And Villavara is strong under it. Here's Veeraratna again. He'll put the ball surely into the opposition half, knowing that half-time beckons. Veeraratna spots a gap on the blind side. Villavara stands strong in a good driving tackle. And that time Ratwat drills this down the field, makes Havelocks run it back. Mubarak realizes that it's almost half-time. Here's Lasindu Vishan. Puts a little bit of a kick in, but this ball is going to beat everyone into touch. And Chamara Dabare throws his head back as he realizes he could maybe have got to that one if it was just a little further infield.
Interesting bit of play. Both teams opting to run the ball. Heavy especially, knowing that they need to go into the half-time at least with a score to their advantage. Referee Kawahara. There'll be a replacement. Both coaches opting to introduce their replacement front rowers. Rahal Delpachitra comes in place of Liston Flatney for Havelock Sports Club. Earlier, Coach Vijay Singh sent in Ashan Darling in place of Ganuka Disanayaka. So there's a real battle going at scrum time.
Yes, certainly is. I don't think the coaches want to risk any cheap penalties being given away. And also Sandesh Javikram has come on for Niroshan Fernando, so a huge loss in experience there for Havelocks. Chamara Dabare being tested under the high ball. Rightly so, because he's shown a weakness under it before, but he's looks like he's been working on it this week. Here's Mubarak in at first receiver. Here's Situm Piris, or Randy Silva rather, being held up by Anuruddha Villavara, but eventually going down in the tackle. In at first receiver is Riza Mubarak. Here's Shara Fernando. The ball went backwards. Mubarak again sandwiched in between two big Kandy forwards. And that's the penalty. Referee, not sure whether it's a penalty, it's a head clash, I think. So the referee stopped the game again very correctly. And the physios are on in a flash. We'll show you that again. I think the two players who sandwiched Mubarak ended up colliding with each other as well.
This two Kandy players yet again. Earlier it was Tarandu Chaturanga and Dimitri Vijayatunga, and here it's Tilna Vijay Singh clashing with is that Tarandu Chaturanga again, or is it Soiru Anthony? Soiru Anthony, I believe. No, Tarandu Chaturanga. Yeah, well, that's not pretty.
It's not pretty, and it could have been a high hit as well. I think Chaturanga's trailing arm caught Mubarak around the neck. I was wondering how Mubarak escaped that one unscathed. But I think they did more damage to each other, the defenders. March Madness is upon us, so get ready for the big matches, all brought to you live and exclusive on Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, ThePapare.com. Very happy to bring you your big matches in cricket.
Plenty big matches lined up for you. Starting off with Thurston versus Isipatana, moving on to the March Madness this time around. The Tomians looking pretty good against their Royalist counterpart Chanaka. You'll be hoping for a good big match there.
Well, that's been the case for a few years in a row now, Sudarshana. I think maybe about 3 years ago under Satya Jayasinghe, St. Thomas's were shoe-in to win. Ended up with the match going the opposite way. So absolutely no guarantees at the Royal Thomian or any one of the other big matches. Mahela Jayawardene is pretty happy about Nalanda's form. And here's Chamara Dabare stepping in on the inside, making Danushka Ranjan work for that tackle. Here's a little bit of space for Rahal Delpachitra, likes to take the ball in these sort of positions. Fajuddin steps back on the inside, needs to be careful not to isolate himself. Here's a little bit of space now. No numbers though as Sadun Herat goes over in the corner. Sadun Herat, the referees will chat to each other, but I do think that's a score.
It did look like he managed to balance himself out in that corner, Shanaka. Sadun Herat managing to touch down for Havelock Sports Club. There you go, try awarded by referee Kawahara. And this is what Havelock was looking for. Go into the half-time with a score, and when they use some faces in the close ranks, suck up the defense, then they have the width on the field. Shanaka, they can spread that defense out and try and exploit the gaps that open up in the corners.
Absolutely, Sudarshana, and I really need to mention one of my pet hates at rugby matches, and the crackers have come out again. It was the same at the CHNFC versus Havelock's game last week. Really hope that home venue authorities really ban the use of crackers at rugby matches with such a closely concentrated crowd. Injury just waiting to happen. Difficult conversion for Mubarak, but if he gets this over, it'll do his and his team's confidence a world of good. And yes, it's a good kick. It's a wonderful kick, in fact, from the old hand.
Brilliant stuff by Riza Mubarak, managing to earn 2 points for Havis, 7 points to 19. And referee Kawahara decides that there's more time to be played in this first half. Could be the last move for all it's worth.
30 seconds.
Well, it's the referee's clock that matters, and he's been stopping it because there's been plenty of injury time in this game already. So important there that Riza Mubarak now steps up. He's a confidence player and he's done well so far. So it's really important that he, like Nigel Ratpatha, who's a senior player who just kicks us off with the restart, for Kandy really steps up. Because especially as Havelocks have lost two of their key midfielders in Niroshan Fernando and Dinu Kamarasinghe being out injured, they really do need Mubarak to step up. Vimukti Rahula puts the kick in. Sadun Herat chases. And it's beautifully taken by Roshan Veeraratne. Really brave challenge there by the Kandy skipper. By the Kandy scrum half rather. Former Kandy skipper, I should say. Veeraratne now goes back into the pocket for Ratwata, who thinks better of any risky play and puts it into touch for the half-time break. So that's the half-time break at this Dialogue Rugby League encounter between numbers 1 and 2 in the Rugby League. 19 points to 7, Kandy lead. And they are the favourites to win this game because of that 12-point lead. But let's not forget what happened last week when Kandy took a bigger lead into half-time and ended up having to really struggle to make sure they kept in that race towards the end of the game as well. Some outstanding rugby that we have seen so far. A close run thing, Sudarshana, and it's going to be more of the same, I think, come the next 40 minutes.
Absolutely, Shanaka. The first half has been topsy-turvy, both teams going at each other. Kandy getting the better of Havelocks, of course, but both teams have shown very good intention of playing good open, fast rugby, and the mistakes have crept in at different points. But I think Havelock Sports Club will be looking to try and hold on to possession as much as they can, because what went against them was the fact that they lost the ball and lost possession at very, very crucial junctures. When they were in the front foot, they lost possession, and that's where I think Havelocks lost out.
Yes, they really need to maintain possession of that ball for longer periods, as we bring you those wonderful pictures from our drone here at thepapare.com. production crew. And that's a lovely pass from Ratwatta to Ganuka Disanayaka, who had absolutely nothing to do but just waltzed through the middle there and converted pretty easily by Tiruna Vijayasinghe. And that's the start of that move that's resulted in the second try. A lovely contestable kick by Ratwatta, picked up there by Anuruddha Vilavara. And then spotting the space, it was Ratwatta who was impeded there but kept in the game. Didn't fall over and plead for a penalty like a footballer. Went and kept into that scoring position. Here's Pathirana bursting through the middle of that line out. Made the pass. Ratwatta again with another pass to Lavanga Pereira. Tiruna Vijayasinghe drags it towards the touchline. Threw that pass in, kept the ball in play, and here's Yakub Ali. And here's the space for Tarindu Chaturanga bursting over from close range again. So pretty similar tries scored by Kandy, and those are the two that made the difference. They scored another one as well, and Sadun Herat getting an opener for Havelocks in the corner. We'll be back after the break.
Crescent Mini Keeves. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeves, only from Crescent.
අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරේදී කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey Barry, මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමෙයි. එක බිලයි, කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.
Crunchy Munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites, only from Crescent.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරේදී කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey Barry, මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi Plus පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරය ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi Plus විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ එක බිලයි කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි. අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදි කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey බැරි. මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi Plus පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරය ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය මොබිටෙල් Wi-Fi Plus විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ එක බිලයි කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.
Live pictures here from the Dialogue Rugby League game between Havelock and Kandy, the defending champions, 19 points to 7 in the lead at the end of the first 40 minutes. But is that a sign of things to come as Theekshana Dasanayake latches on to the knock-on? And Havelocks need to get themselves back into this game pretty quickly. That would have been the message from coach Sanat Martis. And this is good work from Shehan Patrana and Heshan Kalhara holding up that Havelocks player. They managed to free the ball, though. That's great work. And Sandesh Jayavikrama takes it up. He had no other options. Fajuddin acts as scrum half. Theekshana Dasanayake not sure that was the right angle to go into. And it looks very much like there might have been a penalty, but there was a knock-on there. So the referee will come back, and Kawahara has really managed this game pretty well. It could have been a close run thing.
Here's a great restart from Havelock Sports Club. And Jason Disanayake losing that ball out. Theekshana right at the mark to pick that one. And Havis, I think, yet again, were guilty of trying to rush things around, Shanaka. They should try and slow things down a little. Yes, we know they are playing at Kandy's difficulty of their fitness, their weakness of not being able to play the full 80, but here's a real chance for Havelock Sports Club. Referee Kawahara thinking, deciding that the scrum was not properly set there, wants a reset.
This is where it's important that Havelocks with their young front row, you look at that, it's very young. Abdullah Faiz, Azmir Fajuddin and Rahul Delpachitra, two Peterites and a former Royalist in that front row. Up against, well, not seasoned, but more experienced Kandy front row, and they've done well so far. Vimukti Rahula, Sandesh Jayavikrama runs in behind his players. Referee says that's okay. Rahula with a quick ball out, and Theekshana Dasanayake puts his head down. Again, a knock-on. Kandy competing for the ball. Here's Sharo Fernando now, trying to stay strong in that tackle. Makes it available. Fajuddin, look for Kandy's pick and go. Soiru Anthony, first man there, and great work over the ball from Roshan Veeraratne. They managed to clear him away though, and Sandesh Jayavikrama now to Theekshana Disanayake. Lovely driving tackle again by Tarindu Chaturanga. Here it is to Lasindu Vishan. Karunathilaka does well. Smashing through is Situm Piris. Great work over the ball again by Tarindu Chaturanga. Smashing straight through Havelocks. They're not going to take any other route but the direct route. Another tackle by Heshan Kalhara, who doesn't roll away in time. And opting to kick the ball away to buy the penalty. I just don't understand why that was done. Havelocks had momentum and now they've allowed Kandy's defense to reset again. Terrible option.
Absolutely, you have 5 meters to go, Shanaka, and you have a free window to try and take that 7 points. Why not take it? They come back for a scrum. Interesting call by Havelocks. They are confident of going for that try. Why not use advantage?
Absolutely, Heshan Kalhara, the guilty party there. Didn't roll away in time. To be fair to him, there's a fair bit of rolling he needs to do to get out of the way. Vimukti Rahula, lovely pictures from our ThePapare drone. Wonder if they'll let me borrow that for a day or two. No? Producer shaking his head. And here's Kandy. This is the stuff they've been doing all season. Well, not all season, but in the last few weeks. A timely ice pack coming out. And here's where Havelocks really need to get in the ear of referee Kawahara and say, look, sir, if he's injured, get him off. We need to keep playing. A miraculous recovery there from Yaqub Ali.
Last week, of course, referee Wilkinson didn't have none of it, Shanaka. It was a speedy game. Both the games we witnessed, CH versus Havies and also Kandy versus CR.
Here's Karuna Tilaka waiting for it off the back. And the referee has sensed the penalty. Yaqub Ali was under enormous pressure. And the referee will call them back for that. Danushka Ranjan was waiting for it like a hyena waiting for the lion to leave the kill. And he grabbed it and he would have been in under the posts if not for the advantage that the referee was playing.
Absolutely. Take a look at this. Penalty advantage was already there. Sandesh Jaivikrama would have breathed a big sigh of relief. They would have been in trouble. Now it's a second chance for Havelock Sports Club. They have options on both sides. Sandesh on one side and Tikshana lining up on the other with Riza right at the back of the scrum. And Kandy have been under pressure, under the pump in this during scrum time. So the forwards will be hoping that they can push this one through.
Certainly will be. You could see Lasandhu Vishan there just G'ing up his front five, making sure that they get that shove on. And under real pressure on this side of the scrum, on the near side of the scrum, is Yaqub Ali from Rahal Delpachitra, who's made the transition into club rugby pretty well. He's a big lad and seems to have decent technique as well. Here's Sandesh Jayavikrama looking for the offload. It's a good one. Vimukti Rahula needs to dummy. Riza Mubarak does well to come back into the field of play. Lasindhu Vishan still going. Rahula to Sharo Fernando, just inches short. Fajuddin trying to borrow his way to the line. Senal Dilaka, that's a nice ball. And over goes Situm Peris, I think it was. Randy Silva. Randy Silva wearing the number 23 jersey scores his first try in a starter's jersey for Havelocks.
Well, just what the doctor ordered for Havelock Sports Club. 12 points to 19. They're right in the game. Take a look at this. Randy Silva, big hit out and cuts back in. Wilbur guilty of standing into that tackle. And his intention was right, but Randy had more momentum. Enough momentum to push him through. And Reza adds in the extras. 14 points to 19. Havies now just one score away.
Well, suddenly, just like that, with the halftime break upon us, it looked for Havies fans like they should be dejected. But suddenly, we have a game on. And I prefer the explosiveness to be on the field, but there's a bit of it off the field as well, with the crackers going off. frightening babies around the park. And this is where Kandy are beginning to flag. Look at the body language. Sarindu Chaturanga, hands on hips there. And on the Havelock's bench, I think Coach Martis would have sensed a bit of blood because he's sent off his chief wild dog, as it were, if you'll forgive all these wildlife analogies. Shaukat Lahir. It's going to be a thorn in the side for sure. Jason Disanaik and Roshan Veeraratne getting under that high ball. And Tiruna Vijayasinghe tries to compete for it. Shehan Patirana seemed very much offside. But the Havelocks get away with it because there's a knock-on in the mix.
I think in Kandy's respect, Shanaka, now it's the time for the leadership group to step up. If you can see their body language, most of them are down and out. They don't look like the same Kandy team that we saw in the first quarter of the game. Havi's on the other side. They believe that this deficit is beatable. They know that Kandy can be exploited in the second half, and they have the likes of Mithun Hapugadu who are still in the bench, who can come in and really change the game.
And that's an interesting call from the referee. Boring in is the call this time, and it's the first time that Havelocks have conceded a scrum penalty in this game, and an important one as well, especially just after they've scored. They needed desperately to get to the other end of the field. As you can see, the experience for Kandy just sitting down on the sidelines, Iroshan Fernando and Senal Dilaka, as Shaukat Lahir has come on to try and make a difference. But the difference will be very important if Tiruna Vijayasinghe can get over this 41-meter kick. You can see this time Abdullah Faiz boring in. And the telltale sign is the angle at which Yaqub Ali's head came up. That's what told the referee that it was Faiz boring in.
Tiruna Vijayasinghe with a very important kick, which will put Kandy away from a one-score distance. He definitely has the distance. Will he have the direction is the problem. Tiruna's kick keeps low, doesn't have the direction.
Well, that's an important miss for Kandy, and it's a pressure relieving miss for Havelocks as well. Kandy could have gotten a little further in front, made it beyond one score. They could have relaxed a little, but now they've kept the pressure on themselves. It's important that they do something with this ball they're about to receive back. Both teams opting for the longer kickoff. Vijayasinghe with a little kick. Reza Mubarak spots the space, puts it in just behind Roshan Veeraratne. The chase is good from Vimukti Rahula, and Veeraratne's kick slices off his boot. And Havelocks will have the put in just a few meters outside the 22-meter line.
Out of desperation, Roshan Veeraratne will not be happy with the kick that came through by his boot, unfortunately chipping away. But
no. He back in the player. So he's not
very, very important line out for Havelock Sports Club. Well, seems like there's been a change of calls from Havis. The forwards opting to rethink their strategies here, because this line out is going to be crucial for Havi's chances of winning this game. They're just outside the 22 meters, and some quality ball here from Fajuddin, if they can set it up, Shanaka, can really hurt Kandy.
And as we speak, Sudarshan, I think Coach Martis has also realized the importance of this particular line out, and he's sent on one of his finishers, Mithun Hapugadu, to try and make a difference with this possession. Nice ball to the back, won that time. Not an easy ball for Hapugadu to take first up. Havelocks have gone backwards, but Randy Silva will now try to beat, and he does beat. Beautiful hands, Sandur Hera, one man to beat. Sadun Herat for the line, gets it away. And Hapugoda could have finished it off with his second touch, but leaves the ball behind. Herat remains on the ground with his hands on his head. And he knows that was a chance. Desperately gone a begging.
Sadun Herat still can't believe what happened. Mithun Hapugoda, a known finisher, knows exactly what he's doing. And he was sent in because this line-out was important. And he could have really turned this game around, Chanaka.
Let's watch it here. A lovely break from Randy Silva. Put the pressure on. Good recovery from Villavara. And here's Sadun Herat. This brilliantly steps inside two players. Roshan Veeraratne just does enough. And here's Mithun Hapugoda. It was a good pass as well. And Hapugoda should probably have taken that one.
Very unfortunate for the Nipi scrum of Hapugoda. He will definitely look to make amends. Avis with another opportunity here. Similar line out on the opposite direction. Fajruddin yet again opting to go to number 6. This time cleanly collected. Kandy doing very well to sack that one, not letting them set it up legally.
Umesh Madhushan rolls away from that back peel. Lahir tries to go straight through the middle, but Tharani Chaturanga says, "You're going nowhere, mate." Yes, Rahul Velpachitra with a big fend on Roshan Veeraratne. Very dangerous from inside the opposition 22 is Velpachitra. Mithun Hapugoda trying to make amends, and they're over. Havelock somehow managed to smuggle the ball infield, and it's Umesh Madhushan who scores. He's deserved that try, the hard-working second rower. And Havelocks have suddenly drawn level.
Just brilliant stuff from Havelock Sports Club. They were denied on this side of the field, but goes to score from the outside of the field. Beautiful stuff from the forwards, having the patience to cut it and making sure that they capitalize. Kandy team not able to stay in field because of the firecrackers that are thrown in field. This is what Chanaka mentioned earlier as well. It's a problem. And here's a look at the third try for Havelock Sports Club. Nobody playing guard dog at that rock and going right through. There needs to be a man right behind the rock, Chanaka, as Risa Mubarak adds in the extras.
Yes, it was a terrible defense from Kandy. And we see the issue that the touch judges were flagging. They were under the posts and they were in the firing line quite literally as the crackers were being thrown into the field of play behind the posts for Kandy. That's very dangerous as the teams gather under the posts as well. I really hope the authorities will take very stern action against anybody who brings crackers into the ground, and I really hope the authorities themselves are not encouraging it. Good kick into the 22, but the chase isn't as good.
Between the firecrackers, Havelock Sports Club have managed to get themselves a 3-point lead, Chanaka. Remember last week against CRNFC, the only thing that saved Kandy Sports Club was Tilna Vijay Singha's penalty and the 4 conversions. Come here, Tilna Vijay Singha did miss a penalty, a 41-meter penalty, and Havis are now 3 points in the lead.
They scored only 3 points in the second half last week, and that's the second time they did that. I think there's a game before, perhaps against Police, that they scored only 3 points in the second half. So Kandy are not a second half team. Here's Umesh Madhushan, and again Lasandu Vishan leaves the ball behind. 2 really important knock forwards for this Havelock's team. 2 knock-ons that could probably have ended up in really good attacking benefit. But again, a Kandy player goes down. And Richard Dharmapala, wouldn't be surprised if he too makes a miraculous recovery. When Kandy are under the pump, the timing of these injuries is very coincidental, and there he is, getting right back up to his feet.
We need to try and get our hands on that ice pack, Shanaka, and maybe send it to Sri Lanka Cricket with all the injuries that they're suffering. Currently 94 runs to win with 4 wickets remaining in South Africa. They put up a really good performance. Kusal Janit Pereira, 3 wickets remaining rather. Kusal Janit Pereira, 74 runs not out. Really 81 runs not out, really leading the charge. Some good news coming out of the cricket.
Certainly. I'm sure Minister Harin Fernando is following that as he watches this game. He's been in the thick of trying to revive Sri Lanka cricket's flagging fortunes, and here's a charge down that could have ended dangerously for Havies, but Mithun Hapugoda tidies up. And here's a penalty coming for Kandy. And they're probably happy to concede the penalty rather than what could have been a 7-point reversal. And I don't know, in all the years that we've been showing rugby, the last 10 years on this channel, on ThePapare.com, as well as Dialogue TV now, I don't think I've ever seen Reza Mubarak get charged down.
I think Reza knows where exactly to position himself, Shanaka. And he's one of those players who looks like he has so much time on his hands, but that time Kandy showing that urgency that needs to be shown by a team who are 2 points down after having a very comfortable 19-point lead in the opening half. Kandy Small is well defended by Havelock Sports Club, although Kandy are trying to roll away from it.
This is now Kandy's responsibility to bring it out, and Mithun Hapugoda somehow snatches it from Kandy's grasp. Here's Ranjan, dangerous broken field runner, but that's an important tackle there made by Tikshana Dasanayaka. Roshan Veeraratne will think about the box kick, but will give it to his fly half instead. And this is a rehearsed play from Kandy today. They've noticed that Havies may be vulnerable in their back three against this high ball, and it's paid dividends for them.
One step back.
Veeraratne now with some numbers for Kandy on the outside. Here's a step in from Dharmapala. Watpatha, long ball out to Tirana Vijay Singh, who steps in and knocked forward by Shaukat Lahir. Lahir and Nigel Ratwatha asking each other what the cricket scores are.
Time out.
Referee Kawara deciding that he's been quite lenient on the high tackles as well. Shanaka, he hasn't opted to go to his pocket.
I think dishing cards out is a particularly Sri Lankan preoccupation, Sudarshana, because if you manage a game well, there's very little reason for that to happen. Here's a step back inside from Tirana Vijay Singh. Lahir probably didn't go in through the gate there. But the referee's called a scrum.
Shashika Javardhana has come in place of Heshan Kalhara. Both teams with 4 handling errors. But will this one be the costliest one for Havelock Sports Club? We will have to wait and see. Shashika Javardhana, one of those players who can really bring in some energy to this Kandy forward pack. Very well marked that time. Beautiful work by the Havelock's defense. They read that play beautifully and earns the penalty.
Brilliantly done. They read the wraparound move from the time it began and just flew in. It's what England did so brilliantly against Ireland in their Six Nations game. Managed to read the wraparound runner, and Ireland didn't have any options, and that time neither did Kandy. As Mubarak thumps this one from the middle of the field towards the opposition half 40-meter line. There's Ratwat coming round the back, and it was a good tackle from Randy Silva.
Randy Silva has really delivered a terrific performance for a lad who's playing his maiden season Shanaka for Havelock Sports Club. It's really coming up the ranks.
And just his second start as well. Nice win by Chanaka Bandara in the line out. So he's onto the field as well. So 2 changes in the second row for either team. Fajruddin, the first time that Havelocks have real momentum in their maul this time. Lahir or Bandara goes in at the back. Here's Bandara, looks for an offload to Mithun Hapugoda. Hapugoda is dragged down. Here's Sandesh Jaivikrama. Here's Chanaka Bandara, who started off once again. Good clean out that time from Shaukat Lahir, got under the man nicely. Here's Delpachitra. Delpachitra probably the leanest he's been since leaving school, and it's showing in his game. Fitness is just such a telling contributor to the quality of performance. And some of these lads are fitter than they've been, and you can see how that positively impacts them.
Havish yet again opting to keep it close with the forwards, sucking Kandy defense in, and there are empty spaces opening up on the outside, but Havish have lost the ball, not managing to collect it.
Great counter rock that time by Kandy. Referee Kawahara waved the play on, and Havelocks just managed to isolate themselves a little bit. They'll start again though, through Abdullah Faiz. Shaukat Lahir now, driving through. He's a powerful little man. Lahir very low to the ground, but Lasindu Ishan puts the kick in. This one might stand up a little bit, but Tikshana Dasanayaka gets beaten to touch by the ball.
What a danger when your opposition number 8 can run like a forward and also can kick like a back as well. Had good vision Lasindu Ishan, but maybe, just maybe, he had a little bit more force than he required on that kick.
He's one of those players that kind of benefits in a way from playing in a team that doesn't have a lot of stars. In that science college team that he graduated from, Sudarshana, he pretty much did everything in that team. He was one of the outstanding schoolboy players in that year that he captained, and you can see that he's that ability to do everything, working through the junior rugby ranks, having to do all the skills, having to take the mantle of all the responsibility. It has really contributed to his skill set here.
21 points to 19, 63 minutes on our clock, and dark clouds hovering around Havelock Sports Club. The sun's nowhere to be seen, but same cannot be said about the dehydration and the humidity that the players are facing. If the skies open up, Shanaka, it might play into the hands of Havelock Sports Club.
Certainly will, as Jason Disanayaka wins this one at the back of the line out. Kandy's maul has swung right around. And now under pressure, Tiruna Vijay Singh will put this one high and long, and Sandun Herat gets it. Herat tries to escape. Soiru Anthony does so. Brought down eventually by the hard-working Dharmapala. Mithun Hapugoda now. And that ball goes off the hands of Shehan Pathirana. Again, it was not deemed a deliberate knock-on. Saw a bit of controversy earlier today in the Crusaders versus Blues game, where there was a knock forward, and the referee ruled that it was not deliberate. It's a call that I agree with, Sudarshana, but I'm sure you don't.
Well, Blues have been really unlucky throughout last season, especially due to plenty of lost forwards, but that foul money looked like a deliberate.
I'd say
knock
Shehan
on.
Pathirana is very, very lucky. A, to be on the pitch, and B, not to concede a penalty.
Couple of changes coming in for Kandy. Damit Dissanayake replacing Uthishita Jayasuriya, and Lasita Attanagoda replacing Yakub Ali. So Kandy getting in fresh legs for their front row.
Nice little ball over the top for Mithun Hapugoda, but it's not in field enough. That ball needed to stay in field. And Hapugoda probably needed to kick that off his right foot. Further infield. There are the two substitutions that have been made. Damit Dissanayake, so the hookers replaced. Dissanayake is a good line-out thrower.
Unfortunately for Dissanayake, missed out the bulk of last season and only made his comeback in the previous game against CRNFC. Interesting substitution here. Could really be key for Kandy Sports Club, because Roshan Veeraratne departs and in comes Heshan Jansen. Not very experienced. So we will have to wait and see how he manages the pressure that he's been put by his counterpart Mithun Hapugoda.
It was a terrible pass and an even worse line out, and Havelocks have somehow profited from both of those things to now build up a head of steam. Abdullah Faiz smashed by his former schoolmate. Well, they didn't play together, but Soiru Anthony played for the same school, playing opposite each other now. The knock forward, the referee will come back for it, but you're right, Sudarshana, this is a key substitution. Roshan Veeraratne is one of those really experienced players, has a heck of a lot of time to go in this game. And Damit Dissanayake knocks the ball on, and that's what happens when you're just coming into the game, getting the feel of things. And, this could be a huge difference for Kandy Sports Club, as the inexperienced Heshan Jansen has a bit to do.
Take a look at who he is marking. He's marking Mithun Hapugoda. A winger turn scrum off. He will Hapugoda will most likely opt to go for 8, 9, 11 move. Use the short side from here.
Taridu Chaturanga was nowhere near bound on that scrum, as Sadun Herat stays in the field of play. Referee Rohan Ferdinando spotted something, put his flag up, as Mithun Hapugoda tries to get this ball back, and he does. Umesh Madhushan now in the thick of things. Jason Dissanayake dragging him down. But it's a high shot, says the referee.
It's very interesting, Shanika, because according to the rules of IRB, if the high shot is intentional, it's a card, and only when it's accidental he can get away with a penalty. So referee Fernando seems like decided that it was accidental. Referee Kawahara wanting to have a word.
Wonder if we could see that again, perhaps.
High tackle by watch 15. Be careful, please.
So here we are. This is the tackle that we're looking at, not this one, but Tirunavijaya Singha's tackle on Sadun Herat. We just missed it. That's the one we needed to see. But Havelocks go into their favorite corner. And it'll be interesting because here's the tackle coming up. We're back live and we'll show you that in a few moments. Here's Lasindu Vishan. Manages to get the ball away. Tikshana Dasanayake is wrapped up quickly by Ratwata. Mithun Hapugoda. Here's Umesh Madhushan. Try scorer. Shaukat Lahir Going straight through the corner. Here's Mithun Hapagoda for the line. Mithun Hapagoda. We spoke about how he can change a game on its head. He came in, almost did it with his second touch. And now, just a few minutes after coming on, a few minutes after Roshan Veeraratne was put to the bench, he has exploited and does that very interesting celebration. Great footwork from Asmir Fajuddin. You expect it from Hapagoda, but Fajuddin
trying to give up, but yes, Mithun Hapagoda really putting his hand up and making amends for the previous miss. Beautiful stuff from Hapagoda. Take a look at this. Advantage was on Havis and clear mismatch. Hapagoda against Ashan Darling. He was going to run around him any day. And Riza Mubarak adds in the extras. 28 points to 19. Kandy now in trouble. Real trouble.
Wonderful athleticism in that finish as well. Managed to plant the ball and do a somersault. It's that flying Fijian stuff here. Watch it again. There he goes. Takes Soiru Anthony Vijayasinghe with him. And you can see why his team is delighted. This may just be the game. Plenty of time left though for Kandy to hit back. They did so against Army when they were under the cosh up in Nittavala, to be deprived by a very interesting couple of decisions. Here's Mithun Hapagoda putting the ball onto his boot, and Heshan Jansen makes a mistake. Hapagoda's away. They won't catch him. Yes, they will. And Thiruna Vijayasinghe gets back and beats Chamara Dabare to the ball. Hair-raising stuff here. Mithun Hapagoda has completely electrified this game.
Exact reason why Coach Mardis opted to go with Vimukti Rahul in the first half, get that stability in, and take a look at this. Mithun Hapagoda, great control over that ball, lovely stuff. And Thiruna Vijayasinghe did very well to track back. That was a loss forward.
It's knocked back, says referee Kawahara. Came off Chanaka Bandara's foot. Here's Lahir. Shaukat Lahir fighting his way up towards the 40-meter line. Chanaka Bandara now looking to free his arms. Umesh Madhushan will realize that they need to slow this one down now. Not do anything heroic. They just need to keep the ball and they'll win the game and play the territorial advantage. You're benefiting from a lot of light from our cameras because it's dark as on the field now. There was a time where Mithun Hapagoda would have finished that one by the corner flag. Sudarshana, but he's lost a yard of pace. Thiruna Vijayasinghe, who's been on the field from the start, still managed to catch up with him. Here's Hapagoda again standing at first receiver. Here it is through Rahal Delpachitra.
Havis now.
That looked like it was a knock-on. Yes, a bit of over-enthusiasm that time.
Havis now very, very happy to slow things down. They know they have a very comfortable lead, a 9-point lead to their name. But Kandy Sports Club can really turn this game around in very quick succession, Shanaka. So Havis need to make sure that they are very careful with the position. Even from halfway mark, even from the 22 meters, Kandy has the individual runners who can turn it around in quick succession. So Havis need to be very mindful. Mithun Hapagoda will do well to make himself a menace against Jansen, who's come in place of Veeraratne.
Good pass by the young scrum half. And here's a little bit of space for Danushka Ranjan now. Good pass from him. And here's Reza Mubarak to beat. Mubarak drags him down. just does enough, Riza. And here's the ball, not knocked forward, it was knocked backwards, says the referee, who's right on the spot. Here it is, Johnson going to the shorter side. Here's a step back inside, and Richard Dharmapala will score the try. 7 minutes to go. And Kandy have got themselves potentially within 2 points of this ball game. It's not over by a long shot.
Well, what a game we are witnessing as Havelock Park is gloomy, quite literally and metaphorically. Kandy Sports Club in with a chance now with Vijay Singh's kick to come. If he can get this one through, it will be all square.
Big shout out to our big fan and good friend Russell Arnold, who's watching us all the way from Durban, watching his ex-Peterite mates, most of them turning out for the Park Club, a few of them in the Kandy lineup as well. And that's the 2-point game. Thirina Vijay Singh brings this to a winnable position for Kandy, and this Dialogue Rugby League just keeps getting better and better. Here's the pass from Ratwata again, and Richard Dharmapala just comes back on the inside. Too much gas for Lasindu Ishan, who was marking him. And again, it was the pass from Ratwata. It was beautifully in front of the man, gave him options inside and out.
Just brilliant stuff from Nigel Ratwata, and this restart is going to be key. Whoever manages to hold on to possession, whoever manages to win possession from this will take a lot of confidence. As Shahan Patirina, the ever so great hands of Kandy, collect the ball. Sasika Jayawardena.
Sasika Jayawardena has come on and played a few cameos for Kandy this season already. And that's a late hit. And I think the referee will probably go for a penalty. And he says the player was committed. And I can't completely disagree with that. Referee shaking his head and saying no.
Well, that's not ideal for Kandy Sports Club. The defensive line out just outside their 22 meters, and Havelock Sports Club will want a clean line out here. Try and set it up. Go for the shove, knowing that Kandy is under the pump. Psychological advantage still with Havelock Sports Club, given the fact that they are in front. It may be by 2 points, but that 2 points matter here.
Brilliant turn of pace in a short area there. Havelocks just need to make sure that they stay in this part of the field. Umesh Madhushan. Sorry, that was Sharo Fernando that made the ground. Oh. Here's Madhushan this time. Havelocks not doing anything silly. Kandy defense flying up. This is a better conditioning performance from Kandy. They've worked hard on their fitness in this last week, and Shehan Patirana forces a knock on. Can see what that means to him and to the Kandy team.
This is exactly why he's one of those leaders for Kandy Sports Club, Shanaka. It really showed what it meant to him. And he urges everybody to get behind that ball, because they believe that they can run it from here, Kandy, run it from their 22 meters, and why not? They have a superb line backing them up. Take a look at this committed tackle, puts his shoulder in and goes for the man, Patirana. Lahir that time guilty of exposing the ball to the defender.
Yes, that was a copybook tackle. Dislodged the ball with his shoulder, did Shehan Patirana. And that's a lovely angle, but well tackled by Randy Silva. Read it beautifully. And now a little bit of pace and space for Ranjan. And beautifully done. Randy Silva, was that again? No, that Really good work from Mithun Hapugoda, who should probably have looked for the kick immediately. But they want to hold on to the ball here. Holding on. Ajmer Fajuddin had no support. And Shabir Mohammed takes this away. Attanagoda. Stepping back inside was Lavanga. And Havelocks have picked this one up again. Referee says play on. It's everywhere now.
Messy ball going around and
very laissez-faire attitude from referee Kawahara towards the breakdown, and that's not a terrible thing. But now the dangerous Anuruddha Villavara will opt to try and run this. Drag down inside his 22, and here's space for Kandy. Sasika Jayawardena. Randy Silva almost had it, and now Danushka Ranjan will put his ears back from the corner. Riza Mubarak knows he needs to make a desperate try saver. He does so and comes back and makes a second one. And here's Mithun Hapugoda now. This is helper-skelper stuff. Mithun Hapugoda with the tip tackle. Tilina Vijay Singh are flying into that counter-ruck, as does Nigel Ratwata. They need a scrum half and they don't have one. And the ball goes into touch. Oh my goodness, what a game this is turning out to be.
Well, there's time for one more line out. Kandy Sports Club desperately hoping that they have enough time to get the better of Havelock Sports Club. Havelocks, on the other hand, may be playing for time, guilty of playing for time, Shanaka. And referee, take a look at this. 9 out of 10 times, one man to beat. Danushka Ranjan will get the better of him, but Riza Mubarak doing wonderfully well to stop Ranjan initially, and that ankle tap would have just saved the game for Kandy.
Certainly did. Here's Shahan Patrana winning it in the front. What will the youngster do with this ball? But the ball is dropped by Dharmapala. He's got to go backwards. Randy Silva does well. Kandy still have it though. Here's Sardu Chaturanga. He's got tired legs. He's been all around the park.
Full time on our clock, but it will come down to what the referee's clock would play at. I think this could very well be the last move, and Kandy needs to hold on to possession. Mohammed Shabir taking the ball in.
Eshan Jansen, the crowd is entirely on its feet. Riza Mubarak will step up from here. And either if the game is won, if the time is up, he'll just tap this and put it into touch. Otherwise, he's going to go for the 3.
And it's time for us now, Shanaka, to try and pick the player of the match. And by the looks of it, Park Club is going to take this game. And there have been some terrific performances from both the teams. Nigel Ratwate was one who controlled the game very well for Kandy. But I think as for Havelock Sports Club, there have been some impressive performances. I leave it up to you to decide who you would pick as the man of the match.
Well, in terms of defensive performances, I think Riza Mubarak was excellent. But also, I think perhaps, given the stature of this game, given the kind of caliber he was up against, I think maybe Randy Silva deserves a mention for the try he scored and those wonderful cover tackles he put in. So, man of the match for me today, Sudarshana Randy Silva in the number 13 shirt.
Oh, absolutely. Playing his second start. What a performance he delivered. And I'm trying to remember the last season. Kandy had lost 3 games. And I think it was the season that they surrendered the title to Havelock Sports Club, losing 46 points to 15 here at Havelock Park. So Kandy now in real trouble. End of the second round, they will be placed second because Heavies will take the number 1 spot, and they will have to play their first game at home, yes, but against CHNFC, who they went down to last season. CRNFC in 4th position currently will depend on Havelock Sports Club will play CRNFC here at Havelock Park.
It's going to be an interesting one. One plays 4, 2 plays 3. So it's going to be Kandy versus CHNFC in the Super Round. And then we're going to have CRNFC playing Havelocks in the Super Round as well. And we'll bring you the results from the other games. We have CHNFC who won against Army Sports Club by 2 points. So that has been a tremendous game there as well. Army really rising to the challenge there. And Havelocks will be over the moon today. They managed to win this before the heavens opened. And Sanat Martis, who's been a beleaguered man in the last 24 hours or so, will be mighty relieved at this performance, Sudarshana.
Oh, absolutely. What a performance from the Park Cup boys. They turned up. They conceded 19-point lead earlier on in the first half. But then, yet again, second half Blues come back to haunt Kandy in this second half. Very, very unfortunate for them. And how important was that? How important, Shanaka, was that change of Roshan Veeraratne going out and Hashan Jensen coming in?
Well, I think more than that, what we can talk about without speculating, Sudarshana, is the fact that Mithun Hapagoda did change the game. And perhaps Roshan Veeraratne being opposite him, he might have been a little bit more circumspect in what he did. But with Hashan Jansen on the opposite side, I think he realized that he maybe could have this youngster in a spot of bother, and that's exactly what he did. He could have easily finished his game off a little while earlier, but knocked on at a crucial moment, but scored the try that won them the game. Outstanding stuff from Mithun Hapagoda as well. And we have Riza Mubarak with us, with Inshaf Kafur to speak to us.
It has been a very, very crucial game, and I have with me one of the key players who played a very important role in this game, Riza Mubarak. Riza, tell us about the victory. How does it feel, and what does it mean for Havelock Sports Club?
All praise to Almighty God, and we love to have the win, and boys played really hard, especially the forwards. Everyone gave up. We played till the last minute, till the last second, so I'm really happy to come up with it.
Riza, coming to that half-time break, I think you all were trailing by a huge margin. What was that game plan in the dugout at half-time?
Our game plan was to play 80 minutes, so that's what we did. I think any rugby game, you have to play 80 minutes, and that is where you win the game. So till the last second, you don't give up, you just play hard, that's it. So that's what we did.
Riza, let us talk you to that final passage of play, Riza. I think Dhanush Ranjan was striving with the ball, and then that tackle that made a difference. Talk us through those passes.
It's always hard to tackle Dhanush Ranjan on one-on-one, but it's just the support, and it's the support that comes from the team. So that's why we play till the 80 minutes. So that's it.
One last question, Riza. What does this mean for the Havelock supporters, and what are we looking forward in this Dialogue Rugby League?
We'll as we started, we will go match by match. So next is most probably, I think, we'll be playing against the 4th team. So we will look forward to that match and then play one by one. That's it.
Thank you very much. That was Riza Mubarak talking to you after Havelock Sports Club have secured a very remarkable victory here at Havelock Park.
Thank you very much to Riza Mubarak for joining us there. He looks an absolutely shattered man. Did plenty of hard work and true try-savers. An ankle tap on Anuruddha Villavara and Dhanushka Ranjan in that final moment. And he's not a big man, Riza, but you've got to get past him as the last line of defense, and he does that job pretty well. Cuts off the space, and for any youngster growing up and watching how to defend as a last line, that's how to do it.
Just terrific stuff from Riza Mubarak, showing what experience can bring to the table. Shanaka, this was the fiery start from Havelock Sports Club, who were under the pump. Ultimately going to score was Randy Silva, our player of the match for today. Delivered a terrific performance. Take a look at this. Anuruddha Villavara trying to bear hug the man. Was no match for his momentum and power into the line. And yet again, Randy Silva breaking the line and having the good sense to offload. Mithun Hapagoda missed out an easy chance here, but did he make amends or not?
Certainly did. And the try coming up. And that was Umesh Madhusan, who crashed over from close quarters. Here's Hapagoda, who really put in a shift. That was Madhusan, came straight through the middle of the ruck. In that Bilal Hassan kind of fashion. And Riza Mubarak added the extra points. And here's Hapagoda. Little somersault at the end as well, in Bula Bula fashion. And Fajuddin forgetting the last step there, but he was good in the line out, so we'll forgive him that. He was absolutely outstanding with those number 6 throws, which he got spot on. And here's a try that really blew the game wide open. Richard Dharmapala. Real good performance from Kandy seniors, Ratwatta, Patirana and Dharmapala today, but just not enough to put them into the W column.
The time when Thilna Vijayasinghe missed out the 3 points, Shanaka, we did speak whether that will come back to bite them in the back. Kandy ultimately losing this game by 2 points, 28 points to 26. Here's the breakdown. At half time, Kandy led 7 points to 19, both teams scoring 4 tries. So Kandy will earn a bonus point. Kandy actually will earn 2 bonus points, having lost within 7 points. And our player of the match, Randy Silva. Brilliant performance by the youngster.
Outstanding stuff, and I think the whole Kandy team can really hold their heads up high. They performed well in this match, but it's just their fitness that has let them down. They haven't scored enough second half points this season to be real title contenders in terms of being a champion outfit. I think Havelocks have had a more all-round game about them, so that's something that they have to bear in mind. The Super Round fixtures coming up. Havelocks will take on CRNFC on the 23rd of February at Havelock Park. The home team advantage to the team that finishes higher, and Kandy Sports Club will host CHNFC in Nithavala. CHNFC 9 straight wins. They'll be looking to make it 10 by travelling up to Nithavala, and that really will be an important feat for them. We have the upcoming fixtures in that's tomorrow's game. We have Navy taking on Police at Valisara. That's live on thepapare.com as well. And don't forget to join us for the cricket as March Madness hits us. And from next weekend, we have Isipatana taking on Thurston. And in the first week of March Madness, we have the Joe Pete, then the Anand and Nalanda, where Nalanda are firm favourites. And as you say, St. Thomas's may be favourites in the Royal Thomian as well, but that means nothing as you go into the game. Jaffna Central versus St. John's, one of the oldest big matches around as well. Trinity taking on St. Anthony's, Richmond taking on Mahinda in Gaul, and Kingswood again taking on Dharmaraja College up in Pallekele too. And the limited over matches in those same matchups. Isipatana taking on Thurston, Royal taking on St. Thomas's, Trinity versus Anthony's on the 16th, 17th, Maliyadeva versus St. Anne's, Anand and Nalanda on the same day. And then we have the Joe Pete on the 23rd, Sri Sumangala versus Moratu Vidyalaya on the 24th, and DS Mahanama on the 6th of April. Upcoming segments this week, you can watch all the helter-skelter action that we saw just a while ago on the breakdown on Rugby Pitia, and you can see some of today's tries featuring on the Try of the Week segment, which is on Wednesday at 10:30. Well, that brings us to an end of this weekend's or this evening's coverage. Rather, join us for tomorrow's game. You're live on Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, ThePapare.com. Thank you for joining us on Dialogue TV as well as we bring you a goodbye from a picturesque Havelock Stadium. And we bring you pictures of that wonderful celebration between Fajuddin and Mithun Hapagoda. And why not? Because Havelocks have won a famous victory over the defending champions today. From Sudarshana Piris, myself, and the rest of the Papare crew today, thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Crescent Mini Keeves. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeves, only from Crescent.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Crunchy munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites, only from Crescent.
Get with the global Pulsar mania now and upgrade to the new and improved Pulsar 200 NS from David Peary's Motor Company Private Limited.
Okay, she's ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Impressive CV. But why do you want to work here?
Is your unlimited package limiting you? Be really unlimited with the largest network. Talk unlimited with more than 13 million Sri Lankans with Dialog. Dialog Blaster Unlimited. A range of monthly plans starting from 777 rupees. Dial #678# to convert your package or get a new connection.
It's always been my dream to be a part of a blue chip company.
Get with the global Pulsar mania now and upgrade to the new and improved Pulsar 200 NS from David Peary's Motor Company Private Limited.